Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Friday. Thanks for watching today. And today we're going to make a mini slimline card. So I've done a few of these in the past. I love making them. They are perfect for 6x6 DSP because you use the whole sheet if you make two cards, if you want to cut it in half. But today we're going to do something. I'm going to show you a technique that I think is over the top. Okay, and the reason is because if you make a larger card, sometimes our dies don't exactly fit on those size cards. So today I'm going to show you a little trick. And I'm going to be using dies from some different die sets. I'm going to use one die from Country Wreath because I want to use a bow. Okay, and I'm going to use one stamp from Timeless Arrangements. That's where I'm going to get my sentiment from. But my main focus today is going to be two-tone flora. And I'm going to use the flowers and the dies, stamp set and the dies from that bundle. So all of these products are in the annual catalog, of course, because we don't have a mini catalog right now. That doesn't come out for a little bit, which is fine. I'm going to be using Real Red, Bubble Bath, and also the In Color Parakeet Party. So let's get started today, and I will give you the measurements and how to make this card. Okay, so the card I'm going to make today is I'm going to be using for my card base. I'm going to use I keep wanting to say bubble bath. Okay, so it's a sweet pink color. It's got a little purple to it. It's not like a real baby pink, I don't think. It's got a little purple to it, but it works well with red. So that was my color I chose to go with it. The piece of cardstock that you'll need for your cardstock base is 7 by 6 1/4. And you want to score that at 3 1/2. Okay, so we have that scored at 3 1/2. And that's actually going to make your mini slimline base of your card, okay? And then the color I'm going to use on top is Real Red. And so to make this fit nicely, you need to cut this 3 1/4 by 6. Okay, 3 1/4 by 6. I'm not going to use any designer series paper today, although there's a lot of pretty bubble bath designer series paper that would work well with this, but I decided there's already a lot going on, so I don't need any designer series paper, I don't think. Okay, the die I'm going to use, where is that die set? The die I'm going to use is this die, okay, and that is actually from Darling Details dies. Put them away, but I didn't want to. Okay, so these dies, I used them in the video on Tuesday. But they are just gorgeous, right? And so this die always goes to my, I always go to this die. But it's too big for this card, okay? So I chose the smaller one, which I think will work out perfectly. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is, just drop something on the floor. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to start cutting this. And I don't just want a small rectangle. I want it to be larger. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut with my cut and emboss. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so you're going to lay this down. You're going to decide where you want the bottom. So I want about, about 1/2 inch on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to lay my plate on top. Now, I don't want it to cut right here. I just want it to cut this part. So when I lay my plate on top, if I don't want it to cut here, I'm going to lay my plate so that it ends about right there. That way this will not cut out, only this part will cut because that's where the sandwich is. Hope that makes sense. So let me show you real quick what it's going to look like when I cut it out. I could put it up here, but well, it's such a, you can actually do this with your mini cut and emboss if you have one, because this die is narrow and it would actually work out fine. But I'm going to just use my big cut and emboss. Okay, so by doing that, you're going to see what happened. It cut up here, but it did not cut down here, giving me the chance to add some more length to it. And what's interesting is if you try this with this die, you can actually feel kind of where you need to place your die. It kind of fits right into those little holes, and it works out perfectly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this back down. I have about the same distance at this end as I had at the other end, but now I'm not going to cut here because I don't want to cut this right here. I already cut as far as I want, okay? So now I am going to do the same thing I did before. Hang on a second, I'll show you what I mean. Just so you know. It kind of just falls into place. You're going to put your plate on top. Once you get it lined up, you're going to put your plate on top. And then you're going to cut just the bottom part. And you're going to leave this open. You don't want the plate over this so that it will not cut that line right there. If that makes sense. You're going to see when I cut it again. Get it lined up just right. And like I said, you can almost feel it. It like falls into place. When you put this on, you can just feel those little dots. They kind of just fall into place. Actually kind of cool. Now, if you wanted to, you could use some tape. Sometimes I'll use washi tape or some kind of a painter's tape to hold my die in place so that it doesn't jiggle at the last second. Okay. Okay, so when I take this away, you're going to see how it worked. So this turned into this because I cut it twice and I did not cut the end the second time. That makes sense? I hope so. Okay, and then this is trash. And we are done with that. Isn't that cool? So you can change the shape of your dies just by where you place your top plate. And that will eliminate different things, different way it cuts, things like that. Okay, so I'm just going to try to work those little holes out because there's some of those that did not punch out. Okay. Now I'm going to do some stamping, and I'm going to use that two-tone florist stamp set. Okay, and this is the stamp set. It's two-tone and it's two-step. So these coordinate together. This is the lighter one. This is the darker one that gives it accent. These two and these two. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use today. So I'm going to stamp a couple of them in Real Red and a couple in Bubble Bath. Actually, one in Bubble Bath. So my first one I'm going to do is this. I'm going to ink this up. This is the two-step stamp of my stamp. Okay, so I stamped it off, and then I'm going to come back and then line this up. And stamp that. And it gives it that definition. All right, now I'm going to do that same thing with this stamp. I'm going to stamp it in the red ink, stamp it off, stamp it, and I'm going to line it up. Sometimes they're a little tricky to line up, but just be patient and you'll figure it out. Isn't that so cool? I just love the definition of that stamp. Okay, so those are my Real Red. Now I'm going to do one in Bubble Bath. I'm going to use this stamp for Bubble Bath. I find this one's harder to line up for me. I don't know why. I have a harder time lining this one up. I just have to move it around until I get it right where I need it. I think this is it right here. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp a couple leaves. And I'm going to use Parakeet Party for the leaves. These are the leaves that I chose. So I'm going to stamp two of these. Okay, I'm done stamping with that. I am going to stamp a greeting, but I'm not going to stamp it on white. I'm going to stamp it actually on the cardstock base. Okay, so there's dies that coordinate with this. So we have the two-tone Flora dies. What's cool is you get this one. Ooh, man, this is so cool. And then you get all of these to cut out our flowers. Okay, so all of these will cut out all of these flowers and the leaves. All right, plus more. Okay, and then I already cut some out. And the leaves, 2 sets of leaves. All right, we have that done. And then I cut out a bow, and I love this little bow. And the bow is from Country Wreaths. So Country Wreaths is obviously a wreath set, and this is the bow that I use to cut out the wreath. And I cut that out of Parakeet Party. Okay, so I think I'm ready to assemble. Now, what I want to do first is I want to adhere this to my card. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my adhesive. I'm going to put a lot of adhesive on here. Because I don't want those edges to come up. Man, that is so sticky. I'll hold it on the inside so I don't get my fingers in the glue. Okay, need a little more right here. I think that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to attach it to my bubble bath card base. You can see that that did not, for some bizarre reason, even though I scored that, it did not line up perfectly. So now I'm going to fix it. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to attempt to line up my flowers. I want to leave enough room for my my greeting. I'll just use liquid glue. I'm going to pop this one up. These bottom two, I think I'll just leave them flat. I'm going to pop up this big one with dimensionals. Some mini dimensionals here. I'll just use these. And if you use dimensionals, it's really easy to tuck things underneath. So sometimes that's the way I go with it. Okay, and I'm going to use my leaves. And I think I'm going to put my bow down here. So I'm going to position my leaves kind of strategically around that, so I don't have all the green in one place. Put this one up here. See how easy it is to tuck those underneath that flower because it's popped up. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere my bow. Right here. Hold that for a second. And then I want to choose, I chose a greeting from Timeless Arrangements. Hope your day is filled with everything good. So many greetings in here. It's amazing. So let's see if this will fit on here. I think it will. Yes. And I'm going to use black ink on this because I want it to pop. And I'm going to put it right down here. Now it's kind of scary, right? Because I got my whole card done and now I'm adding the sentiment. So let's see. Yes. Good to test it. Although with a photopolymer stamp, it's so easy to line it up. So if I get it crooked, it's my bad. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. I didn't know for sure if I'd like that font on this card. I thought maybe I'd like something a little florally, but I think I really like it. Okay. And then I'm thinking, does it need a little something? Does it need a little embellishment? And maybe it does. I have a wide assortment of embellishments here. I really have a lot, so let's see what we have. What do I have here? I've got bubble bath. Ooh, those are kind of cute. Those little ovals. You know what? I really go to these iridescent rhinestones. I love these things. So let me get my take your pick tool. I'm going to add a few of these. Yep, I think it needed it, and I think it's perfect for it. Okay, so there's my card. Now, if you wanted to, you could put some white on the inside, which is always kind of nice. If you have a white piece, you can put it on the inside. And it kind of does make your card feel a little more formal. Okay, so I think I'll go ahead and do that now. Put some white cardstock on the inside. Even though I could easily write on this and it wouldn't be a problem. Still nice. Okay, so if you're going to put that piece on the inside, that measures 3 by 5 3/4. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this card. That technique, you need to try it. It is so cool, and you can change the shape of your dies just by using that. So I hope you enjoyed this card today, and I will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. My name's Trevis. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Louis, Missouri, and I appreciate if you would like my videos and share them and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching today. Bye.